Welcome. In front of me is a brand new Samsung Galaxy S24, and today I will show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this device. So to get started, these will be fairly simple, ones that I tend to use quite often myself. So let's just get straight into it by going into the settings, and here we can start off with the sound and vibration. This will be an amazing feature for anyone who's using any kind of earbuds or headphones, wired or wireless. It doesn't really matter, though probably most of you are using wireless, as wired would require the Type-C dongle, which is just a pain. So anything like the typical Samsung buds or stuff like that will work. And just to explain what this is that I'm gonna show you, it's the the sound quality and effects, and here we have the adapt sound. And you can enable this. We're going to select allow because it will need to play sound through the headphones or earbuds, whatever you're going to be using for this. Now keep in mind that this works only with headphones or earbuds. It will not work with the actual phone speaker if that is something that you want to try. Now I don't have any connected earbuds or headphones to this device right now, so I won't be able to set it up, but you can just enable it, and you have a couple of presets. We have that 30 to 60 and 60 and over, obviously the age ranges, and you can choose either one of those, whichever category you fall under. But what I recommend doing is actually selecting the last option, which is add personalized sound profile. And what this will do is, once you have your sound periphery inserted, let's call it that way, you can go through this and it will start playing a series of different sounds either through left or right ear, and all you need to do is just honestly select if you can hear it or not. And this, therefore, once you go through it, will create a custom tailored equalizer specifically to your hearing. Well, this is supposedly designed for hearing, but a kind of a effect that it also will have is if you have some kind of cheap earbuds that don't really give you a super wide range of sounds, so they might sound very flat, as an example, not much bass. You could go through this, set it up, and it could increase the bass of those earbuds, assuming this kind of tones that this earbud's supposed to produce you didn't hear. The phone will then crank it up, hopefully making up some of the lower performance of the earbud itself by just cranking up that specific sound. And furthermore, if you want to, once you set that up, you can also go into equalizer and create a custom equalizer past the actual adapting sound. So pretty good option right here. And this, as far as I know, is just a Samsung exclusive option. Now anyway, moving on, we're gonna go to the display section, and here we have a bunch of different things. As you will spend most of your time staring at the display, you might as well make the display experience as good as you can. Now I'll be honest, most of these things right here are subjective, so you might not like some of the things that I will be showing, but like I said, it's completely up to you. So number one, we have the light and dark mode. Now I believe this is actually shown as an option throughout the setup process, but what isn't shown is the dark mode settings below that, which allows you to set it up on a schedule basis, so it will turn on and off at either sunset to sunrise or on a custom schedule, utilizing basically both light and dark modes at the same, not at the same time, but throughout the day. Alternatively, you can just enable it permanently, but I think the latter is better. I mean, the one that allows you to make it on a schedule. Now, moving a little bit further down, we have motion smoothness. This is set to adaptive, which is pretty good already. This display does drop down to, I believe, 1 Hertz to preserve battery life, so it is pretty good. But you do have the standard option, which just reduces the refresh rate to 60. Makes things look a little bit more choppy, but for instance, if you're using this device to read books, you might find that you will get a better battery life with the standard option compared to the adaptive. Now, when it comes down to battery life and the refresh rate, it has no effect when the screen is off. Just want to point that out. Moving a little bit further down, we have the adaptive color tone. And this is, as far as I could basically explain this, a true tone ripped from Apple. It just makes the display look a little bit more yellowish or bluish depending on the environment that you are in. It will try to match the color temperature of whatever is around you. So as an example, I have two lights, and if I were to turn off the main one, which is colder one, it will only give me warm, and this device should, in theory, get a little bit warmer. So you can see the change when I enable it and disable it. Oh, it stopped doing any kind of change. Okay, so I think I just kind of messed it up a little bit, but whatever. You get the point. It basically tries to mimic the environment, and the effect of this, apart from initially like enabling it and making it seem like the display just get really yellow, it will have this effect sometimes where you will look at something and it will look just like a literal page, obviously vibrant and colorful, whatever, but it might look like just little, for instance, comic page, if it adapts very well to the environment. And obviously in certain cases, like during nighttime, I believe it does tend to cater more towards the warmer tones, which are less harsh to the eye and obviously make you hopefully fall easier to sleep. Now, continuing a little bit further down, we have the screen mode. This is color mode. I think they should add it. And by default, Samsung always picks vivid. Now, Samsung, in my opinion, has the colors way overtuned. So when it comes down to pictures like this, they just look egregious to me. I cannot stand the vivid mode on Samsung, so I do tend to switch to natural, which makes it a little bit less saturated, which is what I prefer myself. Now, truth be told, some images will look worse. For instance, the last example right here obviously looks significantly better when the saturation is cranked up to unreasonable levels. But when it comes down to like this one right here specifically, natural just hands down better. And I obviously understand why Samsung enables vivid. It's because, for people that might not be aware, if you go to the store and look at like the entire shelf full of phones, the one that you will probably be interested the most, the one that will catch your eye, is the one that produces the most vibrant colors. Now, moving further on, we have the sidebar. It is enabled by default, and I believe it actually is also under the display section. Yep, so there it is. It's the edge panel. So you can pull that out, and it will give you a bunch of applications which you can enable, disable, or open. You can click on the pencil to add more or remove them. Now, contrary to the actual size of this, you can add stupid amount of applications, basically all of them, if you really wanted to. And just to demonstrate this, I'm literally gonna do just that. Now, this is a good thing to have more reasonable amount of applications that you want to maybe split screen with, quickly open, or anything along those lines. So now you can see it becomes scrollable. Now, the way it works is at the top, above that line, you'll have 4 applications that will cycle through to pick the 4 most recent applications, and below that are the static apps that you have added that won't change. Now, there's a couple neat use cases in here. So, as an example, if I have something open, like an application, I can also bring out the panel and then, for instance, bring up an application by holding it, dragging it over to the top, and before I drop it, you can see that it separates the screen. So if I drop it right here, it will split it and give me, I think, contacts that I'm holding on the top. I can also drag it to the bottom. This will also split it then to the bottom, or I can put it in the middle and open it up in a pop-up view, which I can then just drag around, hide, and all that stuff. Now, going into split screen, another interesting option that I can do is, as you can see, there's nothing visible just yet, but we have a split screen. Now, if I close it, go back, you can see it shows up right here as a split screen application. So contacts and photos, and then I can grab it from here, drag it a little bit lower. Hello, come on. Why don't you want to get at it? Let's try to maybe remove something. Let's get rid of photos and contacts. Maybe that's what's affecting it. There we go. So it looks like that was the problem. So once you add the application, you can then quickly launch it from here, and it will automatically open that split screen combination of applications. Now on the bigger devices like the Fold, for instance, you can have I believe up to 4 applications in a split screen, so that is even better. Here I believe we're only limited to two applications along with the pop-up, but that won't count. And anyway, last thing that I wanted to show you is the gesture navigation, which removes the buttons from the bottom. So let's go into the settings. And then I think it's still under the display. Yep, navigation bar. And here we can select swipe gestures. It removes the buttons and substitutes it for this tiny little bar right here that you swipe up to go home, swipe up and hold to go to recent applications, and swipe from either side to go back. Now one more thing that I can find in here is I guess it's under more options. Did they remove it? Yep, it looks like they removed it, so never mind, you can't find it. Samsung for you. So what I was gonna show you, just for people that might be curious, typically you can hide this little bar from the bottom on other devices to give you even cleaner look, but Samsung's approach to this was so absolutely abhorrent, dog shit garbage execution of this, that instead of fixing it like probably $1 trillion company that they are should have done, is they just decided to remove it, as they always do with anything else, because it would actually make the experience of using third-party launchers better. But no, removing it is a better option. I just can't with this company. Anyway, so I guess I'm gonna just keep it at the gesture navigation, and you no longer have the option to... Yeah, you no longer have the option to actually hide the bar, unfortunately. So, in any case, this will conclude the tweaks and tricks I want to show you. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.